In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 things that I wish I knew before starting up my own home care agency. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Scott McKenzie, and I'm the founder of a home care agency based in Irvine, California. We started in 2011, and we have been in business as a non-medical provider, and we have generated over $8 million in total revenue. I also have a company called Home Care Agency Blueprint, which is designed to help you start, grow, and scale your very own home care agency. It is a coaching program coupled with a course and is not a franchise. So jumping in here, I'm going to speak from experience in regards to the 3 things that I wish I knew. And the first thing is, when hiring office staff for your home care business, it's super important to have reliable people. I mean, I know that's kind of like a given. Essentially, like, my very first person I hired was a case manager, and he went out and did in-home assessments, and then I just paid him a flat fee, and it was a smaller flat fee, so it was kind of like this person was doing me a favor to go out and do these assessments, as it seemed like that's how it was structured, and that was a mistake on my side. Because I should have structured it that this is the hourly, this is what you're getting paid for exactly, whether it's by assessment or maybe just generically clocking in and out of hours, and that's agreed upon ahead of time. That was a mistake I made, not being clear up front. It was just this, okay, I'll pay you this much a month, and it's like kind of like however many assessments you can do. If we get clients, if we don't, then I'm still paying you monthly. So that was just something, I guess, just not having clear expectations up front. And then as I continued to grow, I had hired a staffing coordinator, and I had given her too many things. It was just too many things were on her plate to do. She was doing at one point billing, payroll, handling, hiring the caregivers, the files, everything that you can possibly imagine when running a home care agency. So that's something that she just got overwhelmed and burnt out after about 1.5 years and departed my company, and I had to bring in someone else. I actually brought in a few people to basically divide up the departments, and that was how I was able to structure what was important as far as, the person handling billing, that's what they're handling. The person doing caregiver hiring, that's what they were doing. So it's almost better to give a few people part-time work than give one person full-time and then expect them to handle everything in running your home care agency. And then, I would say that the other thing is, the second kind of like major thing was having, not creating training guides. So, having a playbook on what your staff is doing when you're bringing in a case manager. And I mean, by the way, on my home care agency blueprint course, I teach you on how to bring in these training guides and what tools and resources to use. There's so many different really great resources out there that you can utilize to do that. So but essentially making a playbook for whatever it is, even if it's your administrative assistant that's just helping you with like daily tasks to take, a load off of what you're having to handle throughout the day, it's just important to bring in a training guide that you are having them document all the processes and everything that they're doing. So then, heaven forbid, that person either quits or you need to fire them to replace them, you're not repeating the same, coming in the office for 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 days type of thing, spending all these hours explaining the same thing over again on how to replace that position. So that was one of the biggest things. I wish someone had told me that from the beginning, like, hey Scott, when you bring in, your first hire, your second or third hire, start documenting all those processes. Make sure that that person not only knows what they're doing, you're setting up the proper expectations, like, what I had said with that very first worker that I hired when I very first started. it's setting up the right expectations, it's having the right policies in place so they know what they're doing, what's to be expected of them, and then also having them document, if they're like, say, a brand new hire for a newer position, having them document their position of what they're doing, so you can easily transfer that information. You just have that data saved. And then the very last thing, the third thing that I would say is, once when my agency started to scale up and I was bringing a lot of revenue, it would have been much easier to have an external company help me categorize, funnel the resources of the funds of where they should be going for marketing efforts, where they should be going for staff. I wish someone had told me at the beginning, look, Scott, you have this much money coming in, so this is what you kind of in a percentage should be paying your office staff. This is the percentage that you should be paying your caregivers. So this is the percentage you have for your marketing efforts, and that's the budget to allocate for that. And then same thing with, like, say, going to events or chamber events, or just whatever other expenses you have for operations, softwares, obvious, your office space, your fixed expenses, your insurances. So they're really, I wish I had a firm that just helped me categorize at that time. I have everything in place now. I learned the hard way. At that time, though, I wish I had structured that, because it wouldn't have been unraveling like a rubber band ball to try and figure out where all the stuff's going, type of thing, because it's very easy to be bringing in the revenue and then it's very easy to spend it. So I was finding I was spending quite a bit of money on all these subscriptions and softwares and things that really weren't driving the business forward. And then there's another time that I was spending a lot of money on like Google Ads and Yelp. At one point we were spending like $7,000 on Google Ads and Yelp a month. And at the, being an agency owner, you're running around, you're handling everything else of the business, and maybe you're not paying as much attention to that. And then 3, 4, 5 months go by and you're looking at all this money going out and you're wondering, well, where are all the leads coming in? So the problem there could be not proper training for your staff. They're not converting the leads properly. So do you need to either replace them or retrain them? Is it the platform you're using? Do you need to nix Yelp? Do you need to nix Google Ads? Like, change Google Ads? Do you have to change the firm that's using, that's setting up your Google Ads? There's all kinds of things. So it's really, setting up the KPIs in your business to make sure, the performance indicators, to make sure that you're tracking that. And as a business owner, I wish someone had told me at the very beginning. It would have been a lot easier than having to figure out the hard way. But it was just kind of like, look, sit down and really, create these metrics. And then when the percentages of your office staff go too high, you're spending too much, you're spending too much on marketing, or you're not getting an ROI, you can adjust that so you don't get into trouble later on down the road, spending all this money. And you're just like, well, at the end of the day, it's like, you feel like you're almost working, like not getting paid, the pay that you feel like being an owner, you should be getting, just more rewarding in pay. So on a positive side, there's a time after I figured everything out and I was spending less on marketing and whatnot, that I was able to channel a lot of leads coming through our Google Ads. I stopped using Yelp. This is just in my own experience. And we were getting quite a bit of leads. And then I put someone in place just to only manage following up, because we had a major issue with not just calling the leads, but it was following up. As soon as I put that in place, we really started to convert some clients. And then, so here now I was spending half the amount of money on marketing and we were converting clients. So that's a perfect example. And I'm just speaking from experience. I'm not saying that this is how you need to do it for your agency or this is the only way to do it. I'm just sharing my story of exactly how I, grew with my own company. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming here today, and thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I also have my booking link in the description below, my Calendly booking link, and that is a one-on-one call with me. We can talk about starting up your very own home care agency. And the last thing is I am doing weekly webinars now, so you can hop on to one of those webinars. If you don't make it in 1 week, most likely the following week I'll have another one. So yeah, that's something that we just have FAQs on there, and you can ask any questions you want about home care. So thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.